I feel there should be an asterisk next to that statement. The only game that should have a permanent full moon this big is Majora's Mask. It's actually illegal to have campaign posters and advertisements on government property. So Mayor Hill and Harvey Dent would be in a lot of trouble for campaigning in a government building. You had so much time to shoot and you just stood there. Sometimes I think the only reason Batman is so successful is because all of the criminals forgot how to criminal.
I have to. No one else will.
That's the voice of Troy Baker as Batman, which means Troy Baker is the first person to my knowledge to ever play both Batman and the Joker. By the way, can we have a game where Troy Baker plays the hero, the villain, and the love interest? I feel he could pull it off. Batman hunting down armed thugs robbing a building is the most generic opening to a Batman story you can make. That was the actual opening to the cartoon every episode. These guys are blinded and coughing from Batman's smoke grenade while wearing gas masks. If these were the Payday 2 guys, they would have already been through that door. Also, I think I just came up with a brilliant DLC idea for Payday 2. I can't possibly turn around and pick up my weapon off the floor. Once you drop it, it stays there. That's the mercenary way.
Didn't your mother teach you to knock?
That's the voice of Laura Bailey as Catwoman, once again starring in a game with Troy Baker.
Squeeze into a suit, tie on a cape. Most people dressed up like that end up in Arkham.
You're one to talk. You're dressed as a cat.
Got it! Wait! Do not shoot!
Why wouldn't you arrest them? No wonder Gotham police suck so much. Batman is surprised that tasering someone in the middle of jumping off a building could possibly lead to them falling to their death. Catwoman was falling for quite a while before Batman jumped off the roof after her, and he's going to fall at the same rate she is, meaning catching her is impossible and she should be slamming into the asphalt below right now. Both Batman and Catwoman know how to use each other's gadgets with no prior knowledge of them.
For too long, this city has burned with corruption and greed under Mayor Hill's authority.
That's the voice of Travis Willingham, who you may remember for playing a cop in infamous Second Son, and playing a cop in Murdered Soul Suspect, and playing a cop in Battlefield Hardline. In this game, he plays Harvey Dent, the district attorney, which is basically a lawyer cop.
All I need is a decent slogan.
How about, a new face for Gotham?
Ironic dialogue. They're going to milk that for 3 whole episodes.
After all your parents did for this city. Oh, to be killed in a botched robbery in some alleyway. It was terrible. Truly terrible.
Yes, after all, it's only a shame when the rich die such a tragic death.
A tragedy like that at such a young age must have been crippling.
You don't know the half of it. There's reams and reams of backstory and flashbacks that have been written about it, repeated over and over again by tired, out-of-ideas authors.
Oh, hello. Harvey Dent, Gotham's next mayor, and eager to know you.
Harvey, you are already dating someone. I know you're a politician, but at least flirt somewhere other than your own fundraiser.
Reporter for the Gotham Gazette.
This is a private fundraiser, Miss Vale. No reporters allowed.
How did she get in then?
Carmine Falcone? Is the Dent campaign soliciting votes from Gotham's biggest crime family?
Falcone's never been convicted of anything, except being a businessman who loves this city.
As the current DA who's running for mayor, why would you ever want a known mobster on your side during an election? Conviction or not?
What kind of business do you think he's in?
The one that controls enough votes to get me into City Hall. This is the necessary evil of politics, Bruce.
You cannot get the votes controlled by a mobster and not expect that favor to be called in.
Decent walk-up, sky-high ceilings, plenty of room for my cars. I think I'll take it.
Richard McGonigal reprises his role as Victor Sullivan in this game, and I half expect him to recognize Bruce's voice actor and ask why Sam Drake is here in Gotham. Every person in the room decides to turn and look at the exact moment Falcone offers a handshake to see if Bruce will accept it. It's like Inception when you realize you're in someone else's dream.
Okay, imagine. This is me. And these are all my friends in Gotham. The businesses, restaurants, clubs, docks, unions, politicians. I make them all move.
Yeah, but the point is to sink them though, so your metaphor is a bit weird.
Your father knew which hands to shake and which to break.
And I'm not going to go into any detail about that statement because it has to boil for a while before it's ready. This is why you probably became Batman. You're keeping the blood-stained theater tickets your parents were holding when they died. Any therapist would recommend getting rid of something like that.
And yet I always find you here, in a dark, damp cave, in front of a computer.
Well, yeah, it's the computer room, Alfred.
For the record, your father despised men like Falcone.
Alfred blatantly lies to Bruce's face about Falcone and Thomas Wayne. You've decrypted 0% of the drive Catwoman was trying to steal. You shouldn't already have a map of the district that's contained on that drive. The wrong way sign would indicate this is a one-way street, but it's clearly a two-way road, meaning it's a regular-ass city street.
Great. There's the statue, but no Oz.
Well, no shit. Oswald just sent you a text telling you he was running late and would meet you by the statue that you were currently standing in front of. If he were standing here already, he wouldn't need to send the text. These guys started their mugging with a pocket knife and only pulled out the gun after it went south.
Yanked you away from your bloody ivory tower, Bruce. Least I can do is make sure you don't get shanked.
Then maybe don't ask to meet in the ghetto. It bears mentioning that Bruce is longtime friends with 2 of this game's villains, Harvey Dent and Oswald Cobblepot.
I've got great affection for you, Bruce. I really do. Which is why I'm warning you. When this whole thing starts, make sure you're on the right side.
This warning Oswald gives to Bruce is pointless, since his entire plan involves screwing Bruce out of everything, so there's no need to warn him about picking the right side when you were going to put him on the enemy team regardless.
That night, my parents paid the ultimate cost defending me from a man.
I am well past the point of caring about Bruce's dead parents, and at this point I suspect so is Gotham. There has to have been some far more tragic event that's happened in this city since then for people to mope about.
Mr. Wayne, this morning the Globe received evidence of an offshore bank account managed by Carmine Falcone and your father, Thomas Wayne.
And did anyone else receive this evidence?
The Globe, the Gazette, we all did.
If that's the case, why didn't their questions lead with that instead of tearing down Arkham Asylum? It sounds like you all compared notes after receiving the leak, but decided the first question had to be on point before you started asking about Thomas Wayne.
Says who?
This warrant.
The cops can get a warrant to search Bruce's mansion based off a leak of a 20-year-old offshore account, and don't get a warrant for Falcone even though he was implicated as well. And on top of that, Falcone has never been convicted of any crimes, so him having an offshore bank account with Bruce's dad would not be illegal. And this story just broke this morning. If Gotham police work that fast, they'll look into suspected white-collar crime. I'm surprised Gotham has such a high crime rate to begin with.
We only want files related to Wayne Enterprises.
Then you should probably be searching Wayne Enterprises and not Wayne Manor. Somehow, all three of those tickets received the exact same bloodstain on the same exact corner.
The Gazette received this supposed evidence like every other media outlet, and it's all hearsay. Flimsy sources. There isn't a shred of hard proof.
And yet, they already have a warrant. Also, how did Vicky Vale slip into Wayne Manor again? This time during a police search. Alfred knows the whole truth about Bruce's parents and their mob connections, and doesn't tell Bruce about it right now, preferring to let him discover the truth for himself.
Bruce, I wish I could just make this go away, but I'm not sure if I can. If I get in the way of this investigation, Hill would be able to spin it as a conflict of interest.
You can currently spin it as a conflict of interest against Mayor Hill. He signed a search warrant without your approval against the guy who's funding your campaign. I can buy Selena Kyle figuring out that Bruce is Batman by the claw mark she left on his cheek, but why would her black eye be concrete evidence that she's Catwoman? There are a lot of ways you can get a black eye other than being punched by Batman.
I'm curious about something, though. I do what I do for money, but you're Bruce Wayne. What's your excuse?
Have you seriously not heard about his parents? It's been the only thing people in this city talk about for the past 20 years.
You owe me.
No, he doesn't owe you anything. He stopped you from stealing. You have to do him a solid first before he owes you.
You're just going to have to trust me.
I don't do trust. I guess I'm screwed either way.
Okay, turns out I can totally do trust. Batman's crime scene recreation software might as well be the ability to see into the past, since it can condense facts from the vapor of nuance. If you're a criminal, just buy a Bic lighter rather than carry a book of personalized matches from the shady place where you work. Also, I can't believe they actually went with a book of matches clue cliche. A matchbook is circumstantial evidence. Anyone could have picked up a book of matches at a nightclub. It just indicates where you've been, not who you work for. Normally, I'm pretty lenient on just what gadgets Batman can pull out of that belt, but come on. Falcone's men drove off with chemicals after killing the cops, but didn't bother taking their sniper with them.
True what they said about you. You're a freaking animal.
You just murdered people. Really? He disappeared in the time it took for Gordon to draw his gun. The whole bat disappearance ability is getting a bit out of hand.
You're a good man, Bruce. Good. Just like your parents.
Alfred is only making the inevitable truth that much more painful. He knows Bruce is likely to find out the truth if he meets Falcone. But instead of him telling Bruce, the person Bruce Wayne trusts the most, he lets Bruce find out the hard way.
This is a complete manifest of Carmine Falcone's criminal organization.
What in the world was Hill doing with all this? Illegal arms dealing, drug running, mob hits, money laundering? Falcone's been involved in everything. And it goes back years.
Yet the drive contains no mention of Thomas Wayne, who worked with Falcone and Mary Hill during those years.
There's only one cop we can trust to handle this evidence correctly.
Lieutenant Gordon.
What about that reporter from the Gazette?
Vicky.
Can't you do both? You can give the dirt on Falcone to Gordon and Vicky. It's the same thing that was done to you, in fact.
This is a silver bullet.
Well, it is, but you're just looking at the outside of the envelope. You have to take some of those files out and read them first. Something wrong with your neck there, Bruce? This game lets you design your own QuickTime events. This guy is dead, Batman should be dead, and this guy takes a metal sculpture to his head, so he's very dead.
It's the Waynes. They're behind all this. The Waynes are the biggest gangsters in Gotham.
While that's certainly a nice plot twist, it doesn't have anything to do with the stolen chemicals Batman was asking you about. Both Martha and Thomas Wayne are dead, and you know that Bruce is not involved with organized crime, so blaming them for the chemical theft makes no sense. Also, pretty convenient for that photo to fall on the floor like that for the vital evidence to prove Falcone's not full of it.
Bruce,
What have you been hiding from me?
Even if Alfred wanted to protect Bruce from the truth for all these years, once the story broke, he should have set Bruce down and had a talk. So Bruce left the cave before Alfred provided the answers he demanded. They just really wanted this scene to happen in Crime Alley.
The truth is, they were billionaires, Bruce. You can't amass that kind of wealth without making certain moral compromises.
Not exactly. There are plenty of billionaires that gain their wealth through legitimate business.
If my father was that deep in crime, he would have had enemies.
Well, it's a fair assumption. You don't think. You always said it was a simple mugging. In 20 years, you've never wavered from that story.
Well, yeah, he didn't know the entire truth until just now. It's not like criminals never have each other killed. Please don't flash back to dead parents. Please don't flash back to dead parents. Please don't. Fuck.
Nothing personal. Just business. He told me you had it coming.
You seriously didn't remember this part until now. Joe Chill clearly stated that he was hired to kill your parents.
Tell Falcone. He's making a mistake.
And you didn't remember that part? You've known who had your parents killed this entire time. This is some bull-ass shit.
Getting you in to see Falcone like this? I don't have to tell you how many rules we're breaking.
Harvey waited until just before Bruce is to meet with Falcone in the hospital to tell him how politically risky this is, instead of telling him that on the way here after Bruce requested the meeting.
So that's what this is really about, eh? The pup digging up a 20-year-old killer.
2 killings, and they were never forgotten.
Actually, you did forget some very important details of those killings.
Hey, I tried to get through to you at Dent's party. Maybe I should have spelled it out.
Yeah, that would have made things a lot clearer. You could have even brought that photo of you and Thomas Wayne as proof. Instead, you beat around the bush and mentioned no specifics.
If you're anything like Thomas Wayne, then we're not so different.
We're not so different, you and I, cliché. God, how many Batman villains have used that one? Hospitals do not leave hypodermic needles filled with morphine on bedstands, for obvious reasons. Rather than tell Bruce who put the hit on his parents, Falcone wastes time rambling long enough for a drug cop to come in and shoot him.
Why would she do something like this?
She'd never do anything to hurt the department.
Am I the only one that noticed that she had blue veins running up her face? That feels like a detail they are overlooking.
Tell me if she says anything.
They're leaving the CEO of a company in the room with a cop who murdered Falcone and expect him to interrogate her?
Found the substance. Analyze and forward me the result.
You need more than a cell phone photo to analyze the chemical makeup of whatever drug she was dosed with.
There was a voice in my ear insisting Falcone was gonna get off.
Did you see a face? Could you ID a suspect?
I don't think so.
Later, when Bruce is drugged with the same stuff, he will have no problem remembering who drugged him.
Word is there were shots fired near where Falcone was being held. Know anything about that?
Vicky Vale is the person who drugged Montoya, so her trying to figure out what happened in the hospital by questioning Bruce is pointless since she already knows what happened. This is simply to make sure her reveal as a villain is a real gotcha moment. However, she doesn't even need to do anything to cast aside suspicion right now since no one suspects her of anything.
The computer's been analyzing the chemicals from Montoya's bloodstream.
You didn't take any blood samples from her. You took a photo.
Practically family, he said.
Family? Funny, I don't recall any Sunday dinners with the mob.
Really? Because he's got this photo of Thomas Wayne that says differently. The Skyline Club is a crime scene after last night. Oswald would not be able to walk around it with his gang.
We all saw how you felt about Falcone. Pounded him into a pulp on live TV.
No, I didn't. I picked the arrest option instead of beating him.
They found Catwoman.
What do you want with her?
The writers just called and informed Oswald that he needs to reveal to Batman that he's after Catwoman so the plot can progress in that direction.
I need you, Selina.
You do? She's a thief who you met twice and have no working relationship with. This guy turns on the jukebox just so the fight scene has a soundtrack.
Beat it. We're here for her.
Yeah, but your boss clearly stated that he was after Bruce Wayne too. So this is killing 2 birds with 1 stone if you play your cards right. The same guy who earlier alerted Bruce that Penguin's men were going after Selina also has messages on his phone that implicate Mayor Hill as the guy who leaked the story on the Wayne family. This room had no one in it when Bruce opened the door. Yet Mayor Hill is standing right there after the camera jumps. And don't think it's because Bruce's body was blocking line of sight. There are a few frames where you can see the area he's blocking and no one is standing there.
Your father and I, we took this city and made it ours. Falcone too, rest his soul.
It takes zero convincing for Mayor Hill to admit that he's a criminal who worked with Thomas Wayne and Falcone. Hell, he opened the conversation with this.
I'm the man that says I never left such and such a message. I'm the man who sends the police to your house to take your things.
Yes, you're the one who knocks. By the way, is there any chance of a Batman Breaking Bad crossover?
That voicemail makes it to the papers, or anywhere else I don't like. I'll turn my commissioner loose on your lieutenant for that fiasco down at the precinct.
That's not much of a threat, since it would be obvious you're doing it as political payback, and Gordon and Dent were not responsible for Falcone's death, and that would already be a huge story regardless.
Wait a minute. The images on these cameras haven't changed. Something's wrong.
You've watched those security cameras from the theater for all of 10 seconds. You wouldn't see any significant change yet.
Harvey, listen to me. Your life is in danger.
Because of Penguin and his thugs? Thanks, but there is an army of security here.
No one ever cancels the important event when warned about a possible attack. They just triple security, and in most cases that would be enough to stop anything bad from happening, but it never seems to matter.
Sorry, Bruce. The makeup person is here. Guess she needs to put on my face.
Joke's on this game. I picked the option that keeps Harvey's face from getting scarred, so lines like this never end up mattering. Do police lieutenants just stand on buildings across from the one they are protecting?
None of my men on the ground are responding.
There are police cars surrounding the building and you had hours of prep. How could Penguin's gang have snuck in and taken down your security teams?
You'll do. Get out here.
I was incredibly fortunate that Solomon Grundy grabbed Vicky from the hostages to be the person that injects Hill and Dent with the drug. She is the one secretly in charge of this entire thing, and this was obviously the plan. But the only person who knows that she's the boss is Penguin, so someone picking her randomly out of a group is kind of convenient for her revenge. This drug makes people say and do things that they keep internally in check by removing their filter. So the idea of injecting two politicians with it during a debate and making them tell people how they really feel is an interesting one. However, it wouldn't have the effect Penguin is hoping for since the cameras capture them being injected, and no one is going to buy anything they say is fact after being drugged.
First off, we should incinerate the pool.
Normally, I'd say that rhetoric is going too far, but these days that kind of telling it like it is campaigning would take Mayor Hill to the White House.
I thought your father was dead.
He is, but we have this technology called cameras that can record a moment in time to be viewed at a later date, even once they've died. Why the hell would Thomas Wayne ever record himself in the same room with Mayor Hill and Falcone as they chemically lobotomize Penguin's mom for not doing what they want? Criminals don't normally go out of their way to leave an evidence trail. Penguin would have just shot his boss in the back if not for Batman.
I took out Thomas Wayne. That was all him. He didn't know when to stop. I had him killed because of it!
I'm going to admit all of this now just to clear up that plot point. This stage light Penguin tries to smash Harvey with has no power cord, yet is still on. A point-blank shotgun round would take your entire arm off.
That light has a bat on it, Jim.
You give me a number to call, I'll rethink my methods. I'm just glad it got your attention.
Yeah, along with every other person in the city, including the media and criminals who might want to know where Batman is. This has always been one of the dumbest things in Batman canon.
But the truth is we're desperate. I'm calling a truce. Just for tonight.
You've been working with him quite a bit already. Have you forgotten when he was basically calling the shots during the debate hostage situation?
Renee Montoya, one of my officers. She's trying to clear her name after those animals manipulated her into killing Falcone. She's supposed to be on leave.
She should have been locked up. She killed Falcone. Yeah, she was drugged when she did it, but she would still be held in custody until that could be proven.
I thought you'd need an audio feed as well.
If you predicted Dave Fennoy would be playing Lucius Fox in this game, give yourself a pat on the back for making the easiest call one could ever make. Dent was attacked once already and the previous mayor was killed, so you would think Gotham PD would keep a close eye on Dent from here on out. But no, they lose sight of him after leaving the hospital and now he's being attacked again.
How fast can you decrypt?
Why does Lucius need to be the one to decrypt the signal? The Bat computer is perfectly capable of decryption, as seen when it decrypted an entire drive in episode 1.
Every day, I wish your father was still with us. He was wise beyond his years.
Also a heartless murderer, but hey, at least he was nice to his employees.
You are the topic of discussion for the board. They want to decide what your future at this company will be. Whether to dismiss you or not.
Ousting Bruce would be only step 1 in saving Wayne Enterprises from the scandal. Step 2 would be changing the name of the company. Opening the secret lab entrance in Bruce's office requires only one chess move, and it's an illegal castling move, since castling can only be done with a bishop and a king and not a knight, and the king cannot be in check and the spaces between the king and bishop must be empty.
As you know, Wayne Enterprises is a telecommunications giant.
You don't need to remind the CEO of a company about just what it is his company does.
I'll have Alfred warn Gordon. The GCPD needs to get rid of their Wayne Tech devices.
I'm sure a random call from some English guy is all it will take to convince the police to stop using their radios.
I've encrypted our access. I can fortify it, but it's going to take longer to force them out of the system.
Well, that might explain how the children of Arkham are accessing the surveillance systems. You didn't encrypt your own backdoor access. Why is the chessboard back the way it was before Bruce met with Lucius? The knight and king are back in their original places. So in order to make Wayne Enterprises look good, the board is asking Bruce to step down so they can hire Oswald Cobblepot, the guy whose mother was seen being drugged by Thomas Wayne in a video, and whose family Wayne stole land and money from to build their business. No company board would ever think this is a face-saving decision. They would just make a very large charitable contribution and call it a day.
With the children of Arkham accessing Wayne Tech, I have to figure out what their next move is.
Can you not just shut down the backdoor surveillance system you built? At this point, it's clearly doing more harm than good.
Hey, Harv.
Jesus! Don't sneak up on people like that.
Whoa, what is your problem? You're being a bit erratic.
He's been nearly killed twice this week. Harvey being jumpy isn't that big of a stretch.
Hold on, Harvey. The technology at Wayne Enterprises is compromised. The children of Arkham are using our tech to listen in on Gotham.
Yeah, but that's just a regular office phone. At least just told you they'd only compromised police communications. Newspaper plot progression.
Meet me at sundown. Cobblepot Park.
Deal.
Why? That place is a dump full of muggers. Why does everyone want to meet there? Besides saving the devs time and money creating new locations.
There are safer options out there. Why here?
Seemed
Topical.
You shouldn't have any idea of what's going on with Oswald, or at least you shouldn't from Bruce's perspective. So wanting to hold a meeting in his family park should not seem topical to you. It's so obvious she has a microphone in that coffee cup that I'm surprised that Batman doesn't realize it. She hasn't taken a single drink from it and holds it constantly in front of her.
Everyone wants him to answer for what his family did.
Because his dad was a mobster? That's guilt by association. Thomas Wayne died when Bruce was a kid, and Bruce has never given anyone any reason to suspect he's anything like his dad.
Why haven't you gone after him yet?
I think the people who killed the mayor and are terrorizing the city are a bigger threat than the possibility that Bruce Wayne has done something wrong.
Whether he intended to or not, his family has been stealing from innocent people for years.
His family has been dead for years, and that statement, whether he intended to or not, what even the hell, lady? Bruce was a kid. He didn't intend anything. Somehow Vicky picked up the coffee cup containing her microphone that she dropped without us or Batman noticing, because it's no longer by Batman's feet where she dropped it and she's not holding it as she leaves.
The train car is their delivery system.
Maximum coverage.
This is the same plan for Nolan's first Batman movie. Use a train to release a gas that will drive people crazy. Why the hell did Vicky give Batman the location to her hideout? Her men are in the middle of putting together a terrorist attack. She could have just lied and sent him somewhere else. Just say you interviewed Lady Arkham in a hotel somewhere.
Just add it to the list of your mistakes. Must be why you didn't come through on your last assignment.
Vicky would have seen Catwoman attacking her men during the televised debate, so having Catwoman steal chemicals and only slightly admonishing her for failing to get the drive and helping Batman is pretty lenient.
You might as well come out, Batman. I know you're here.
Was this really the plan? Lure Batman here during the middle of a terrorist operation and somehow kill him? Didn't you take a shotgun to the shoulder the other day? Why has that not affected you? This shockwave staff and boots Vicky uses is never explained. I mean, she's just a journalist turned villain. Nope, I don't think I'll try to kill you anymore. Even after you ruined my plan to gas Gotham, I'm all murdered out.
You know that was stupid, right? Showing up at that train depot. Taking on their leader alone.
And you doing another mission for them was a brilliant plan? They already tried to kill you once at the bar, and that was before you helped Batman.
Take them down together.
Wouldn't that be cute? The dynamic duo fighting crime.
Sorry, that's reserved for Robin. And the mental images conjured up by that line in this sexual tension-filled situation are disturbing. Manspreading. Troy Baker and Laura Bailey have done it so many times in games, I wouldn't be surprised if their fans are actively shipping them. Schrodinger's sex scene. By cutting away, they ensure two universes. One where sex happened and one where it didn't. And they put their clothes back on after sex. That continues to be a thing that never happens in real life. The power of boners was so strong that Batman didn't once tell Alfred where he was going after he was nearly killed at the train depot.
I just came by to check on Selina.
What, with your pants off?
Yes, actually. I came here with my pants off. I'm rich. I can do that.
We have nothing to be sorry for. I don't answer to him, and neither do you.
Regardless of what you think your relationship is, it was quite clear that you led Harvey into believing that you had one. So yeah, he's right to be pissed. That mirror was broken before Harvey hit it.
How about we flip for it?
Well, I guess we had to work that character trait in at some point, even if there's no explanation for it to be found. Woman who has previously held her own with Batman was reduced to awkwardly swinging a chair in front of her.
Yeah. Shows off just how delightfully punchable that face of yours really is.
Bruce!
Regina is like that teacher you had in school that was incapable of recognizing someone being a smug prick and always blamed you for starting fights. As cool as this scene is when Vicky finally reveals herself by drugging Bruce and sicking him on Oswald, it only works because of all the conflicting scenes that would point towards her not being the leader.
If we could just get one more round of applause for our friend, the man of the hour, Bruce Wayne!
Why would you invite Bruce back on the stage after he refused to read their prepared script? They committed Bruce to Arkham in what appears to be a matter of hours, since Bruce has no idea where he is when he comes to. That kind of thing would normally require an evaluation and a hearing, and you had to be conscious for those. And did no one, like say Gordon, suspect that maybe Bruce had been drugged like one of his officers was? Bruce even has the same blue veins that Montoya did.
I want to talk to my lawyers. I have rights.
And yours were revoked after you beat Oswald Cobblepot within an inch of his life.
No, that's not how that works. He still has the right to an attorney, and I'm honestly surprised Bruce didn't have his attorneys ready to go already with his company giving him the boot. At the very least, they would have seen the press conference and been on the phone the moment they saw him arrested. Crazy inmates who have been committed for over 20 years apparently have fat stacks of cash on hand for paying off orderlies so they can beat other inmates. I guess doing the prison laundry is a viable career path.
Buddy. Oh, buddy. Are you okay? You don't look so grand.
Worst Joker ever. I'm getting more of a Handsome Jack vibe than anyone else.
I knew that you coming to Arkham could cause some excitement.
Yeah, considering his dad used to run this place and used to kill people here, this is probably the last place Bruce should be locked up.
They don't like it when you try to use the phone.
That's because phones are for staff use only.
And that's why we keep the phone right here in the hallway where all the patients are kept. We like to tease them with it.
He's never given his name out to anybody.
No one remembers the day John came to Arkham, not even the doctors. They don't have any record of him ever being committed.
Then how is he legally kept here? They don't know his name, why he's here, or what he's even in for. News broadcasts remain perfectly timed for handing out information relevant to the main character's situation.
I had Mr. Wayne committed to Arkham Asylum.
And I'm admitting my illegal abuse of his civil rights during a press conference. You should probably be impeaching me right now. The moon has been full in this game for over a week.
Very tricky, Vicky. I think we both know she's quite the lady, right, Bruce?
Wait, you know that Vicky is...
Yeah, surprised me too. And the game never bothers to explain how Joker knows that Vicky Vale is Lady Arkham, or that he knows that Bruce should go check out her foster home should he get the chance.
Your dad helped bump off her parents.
Why would my father have the Vales killed?
I never said he killed the Vales. She was born in Arkham. Victoria Arkham.
Deus Ex Joker.
When I get out of here, you're gonna owe me a favor.
I'm one to believe that someone as resourceful as Batman could come up with a plan for getting to a phone without promising Joker a favor in the future.
Aren't you supposed to be in Arkham Asylum?
Listen, Gordon, I haven't lost my mind. I was drugged.
And that thought never crossed my mind, even though you went crazy suddenly in the same manner as one of my police officers.
What do you mean you're leaving?
She means she's being written out of the plot. This scene and another brief scene of her leaving constitute the rest of her role in the final 2 episodes.
He's dangerous.
So was Lady Arkham, but you went back to her even though she might have killed you.
If I can isolate the presence of the drug, I should be able to synthesize an antidote.
Why didn't you create an antidote back when you first sampled the drug if it's so easy?
The drug attaches itself to specific proteins in the genome structure. If we can modify the drug's molecular structure, we should be able to create a counteragent.
This kind of scene makes molecular biology look way too easy.
We'll have a working antidote. We can cure others affected by the drug.
No, this cure is based on my DNA. It'll only work for me. To cure other people, we'd have to sample and decode the genome structure for each and every person to make them an antidote.
Well, it only takes a full minute to do that, so yeah, this pretty much would solve the problem.
This needs to be injected directly into the vein to work.
So, just like all drugs then. Were you already hiding under the stairwell when Vicky broke in and killed her foster parents? Because Mrs. Vale was murdered with an overdose in the same room. No way you could have snuck in here while that was going on. This kid doesn't tell Batman about the secret torture room the Vales keep in their basement, leaving Batman to discover it later under wildly convenient circumstances. Even though Penguin's drone spots Batman in this house, the children of Arkham will still bring Alfred here later despite this place being compromised.
You're the kid who saved Batman. And no matter what happens, no matter where you go, that will always be true.
What I'm trying to say is that I need a sidekick, and I've heard about how Marvel is trying out racially diverse heroes. So I figured, why can't Batman have a Black Robin?
Like he's introduced some sort of bug into your network.
That's how he's making my equipment malfunction?
Why would all of your equipment be connected to a cloud server? Especially your EMP grenades. You know, the weapon that destroys electronics. And if Penguin released a virus into Batman's systems that target his equipment, wouldn't that mean he knows that either Bruce Wayne is Batman or the Batman is supplied by Wayne Enterprises?
You're going to want to see this.
You're going to want to see this, Cliché. How did you even know he would need to see this? You were monitoring any news broadcasts.
I am formally seizing the Wayne estate.
Mayors cannot do this unilaterally.
Lady Arkham's drugs destroyed.
That was the building that Vicky's foster father owned and where she was storing your drugs after killing him? Why were they living in a normal 2-story house if he ran a company like that?
No one will question finding you dead in Crime Alley.
Why specifically Crime Alley, other than tragic backstory irony?
If you kill me, you better make sure I'm dead.
This was my actual reaction to that line during my Twitch stream.
Make sure I'm dead.
If you kill me, you better make sure I'm dead. People die when they are killed. Did I mention that I have a Twitch stream, by the way? You should probably go follow me there. I don't think anyone is going to buy this as a suicide if he's shot in the forehead while handcuffed.
You really showed up in the nick of time. How'd you even find me? Denton just blew up a whole city block.
I know. The reports I'm hearing are just awful.
Notice how Gordon didn't answer the question about how he knew to come to Crime Alley to save Bruce.
You gotta be able to arrest him after this, right?
We're doing what we can, Bruce. But there aren't a whole lot of contingency plans for what to do when your mayor starts blowing up the city.
You arrest him, and if he resists, you shoot him. Seems pretty straightforward to me. I am honestly surprised that Bruce would allow Alfred to keep a gun in the house. No one can shoot Batman if the camera spins around him fast enough. Those are explosive rounds. That should have taken Batman's leg off, or at the very least slowed him down. It took Alfred a very long time to do anything while Batman was being shot at. I'm not sure what's more sin-worthy, the fact that Batman has a swarm of bats that he can activate inside his home, the fact that he thought this might be necessary at some point, or the fact that he didn't use this sooner.
Bruce, all of your bat tech is linked to this computer. If you take it offline, it will all be inoperable.
Seriously, outside of the drones, why would any of Batman's gadgets need to be always online to function? Does Wayne Enterprises make video games by any chance? Kind of amazing that Batman can still be at the scene of a crime within minutes of it happening without all of his surveillance tech. Also, Batman defies gravity once again by catching up to this woman in freefall, and even saves her somehow with a non-functioning grapple gun.
Batman! No! It's a trap!
Easy there, Commissioner Akbar. There's just something off-putting about Batman using a flip phone. I mean, yeah, his equipment is down, but come on, he can buy a smartphone.
Penguin improved the armor.
Did he? Because it seemed to me you destroyed that drone the same way you destroyed the last one. This isn't hacking. Plugging 2 wires from a drone into your Obama phone isn't going to get you very far.
I saw some kind of transmitter hidden behind the statue.
You saw a transmitter hidden behind a statue? Those 2 words would indicate that you didn't, since you were facing the opposite side of the statue.
This wouldn't be some kind of plan, would it? You working with the Bat?
I thought you would have suspected at least that much by now. How else did you think you were able to hack Batman's equipment through your control of Wayne Enterprises? You can also just shoot Penguin right now instead of trying to maneuver around him to shoot the transmitter. That would accomplish the same thing.
Going offline kept Penguin from finding the Batcave, but it also scrambled our system. The Bat computer barely runs.
I see that you too use Windows 10.
If I cross-reference that with all the data we have on Vicky Vale, we might be able to figure out the Children of Arkham's next move.
Cross-referencing. The basic police detective technique that cops in Gotham were never taught.
Your administrative access to Wayne Enterprises should have been reinstated by now, along with your title of CEO.
It should? He attacked Oswald during a press conference, and all that stuff his father did still stands. You would think that a guy capable of hacking Batman's tech would be able to use Photoshop to make a better logo that doesn't use Comic Sans.
Get the car ready, Alfred.
And by that, I mean I'm just going to walk over here and the car will do the rest. Bruce parks like a dick. That would have been awkward if someone had gotten here before Selina and you were just blocking the road. This is my only scene in this episode, and it's mainly to get you away from the manor so Alfred can be kidnapped rather than any kind of meaningful moment between us.
More blood on the mantle. He smashed his face into it.
Did you just call Lady Arkham a he when you know she's a woman?
Wait. That picture doesn't belong there. Lady Arkham wanted me to find this.
She could have just let the note out in the open rather than moving a photo to a new spot and expecting you to notice it and find the note behind it. Obviously, this is a woman who likes her point-and-click adventure games. What was the point of this video they sent again? Vicky doesn't make any demands or reveal anything. She just taunts Bruce with Alfred. It only serves as an excuse for Alfred to clue them in onto where they're holding him.
Alfred keeps adjusting his glasses. The reflection. He's making sure I see the reflection in his glasses. He knows the Bat computer can use multiple reflection angles to recreate the room that he's in.
This takes zoom and enhance to a whole nother level.
And I can view the virtual image using my cowl.
Your cowl that was destroyed by the Penguin?
What's that outside?
Give me a second. They're by a bus stop.
And now they actually use zoom and enhance inside their VR recreation of the reflection off Alfred's glasses.
You are not going to believe this.
What is it?
Lady Arkham is back at the Vale house.
And the last place she should go, since it's a crime scene and they know it. They didn't even break the police tape while dragging Alfred in here. Vicky would have left her foster parents' care a long time ago. Yet all the graffiti she drew on the walls of her torture chamber in the basement is still there, including the doll she made of her alter ego. And the Vales have fostered other children since her, like the kid we saw earlier. And he was definitely held down here as well.
Alfred left me another clue. The newest chalk. He's added to an old drawing of Arkham Asylum. The words highlighted are, "She will and liberate."
That's right up there with moving a photo in obtuse ways to send a message.
His suffering will teach Wayne a lesson.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that pitch shifting your voice cannot change it this dramatically. I mean, I'm sick as hell right now, and my voice is pitched really low, but it doesn't sound that different.
He stuck me in here! Me too.
No, he didn't. Not the bald guy, at least. That guy was the one who attacked Bruce because Thomas Wayne stuck him here in Arkham. The cowl apparently has the ability to slow down Batman's perception of time so he can best decide how to tackle a situation. In a world full of people pulling impossible disappearing acts, this is easily the worst offender. That would require nothing less than teleportation. It doesn't matter where you go in Gotham, you're going to find an old cathedral or a buried section of the city underneath it. Vicky survives this. She survives this too, and I'm pretty certain she survives this. But we will have to wait for Season 2 to confirm that sin. Breaking news! It's the end of the game, and the Exposition News Network is on the scene.
Your ear? At least there's something left of it.
Alfred, my ear looks like an Apple logo now.
As Bruce, you could help repair the damage done to your name, get the public support so that you can change things from the top down.
How would Wayne Enterprises ever recover from this? Their old CEO and founder was a murdering criminal. Bruce attacked their new CEO on camera, and Oswald also proved to be a psychopath. Their stock is likely flatlining. Sequel baiting.